Hello everyone, this is David Menzie and I'm here to talk to you about my identity project. The first screen is a picture of my diversity wheel, and as you look through this you can see for the most part I'm about in the most dominant possible set of cultures you can get to, and I figured as much. As a middle class, middle-aged white male, I am, or my group, I shouldn't say I myself, my group is pretty much the problem of most of our issues about um, diversity and acceptance of different groups, etc. Just to walk through a couple different things. Um, the About the only things that I'm subordinate in is that I am divorced. That's most of the population is not that. Also, I figure because of my advanced degree in education, that's also probably subordinate, based on how most of America, and I'd say college educated, but considering that we're all here in either master's or doctoral programs, that kind of makes us in a subordinate group. I am heterosexual. I am not disabled. My national origin, which is blocked by this video, is European American. Uh, I have a combination of English, German, and Lebanese blood, but as in most people, I'm not Native American, so therefore I am an immigrant or from immigrants. Political views, I'm moderate to liberal. Oh, my little thing messed up. I believe in capitalism, so I figured that's pretty much a dominant thing. Oh, and religion, I am Roman Catholic. I figured I was considered dominant because it was Christian versus Muslim, Jewish, that sort of thing. At least in the United States, that would not be considered a dominant religion. My life moments chart. I'm gonna try to scroll through it so I hope it doesn't drive your eyes totally crazy. I came from a very traditional family background. As I said, I'm in my mid 50s, so I was raised in the 60s. My dad worked. My mom stayed at home until we were, in high school. Then she went back to work. She worked with my dad. In terms of my identity, family is everything. You give up things for your family. You don't rock the boat. You basically, if you have a problem, you basically keep your mouth shut. There's no reason for you to. It's got to be something that perhaps you need to adjust in yourself. I believe in honor, chivalry, manners. I was, taught to basically take care of other people, especially women, and I open doors, those sorts of things for ladies. If I move myself, let's see if I can move this up. My maternal grandfather was an immigrant from Lebanon. My grandmother was English, and then my paternal side was German. So there's quite a lot of cultural history. Culture is a big thing, especially in food, holidays, maybe more open to other cultures, very interested in them. As I said earlier, I'm Roman Catholic by tradition. I attended Jesuit schools, which means, I just attended Jesuit schools, but one of the big things in our high school was men for others. So I come from a very service-oriented type of background. Some critical moments, this sounds very cliche, but the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau when I was a kid, it really, got my science interest going. That was a place where I could shine, was in science. My high school counselor took advice from him, and it really set me adrift. And that's a whole other story, which take much longer than 5 minutes to tell. But that was one of those times where you don't question authority. That comes back from my upbringing. Birth of my children was a big deal. Responsibility, I'm one of those dads that their needs come first, not mine. So you've taken the responsibility to have a child, then it's your responsibility to raise that child. I got cancer when I was 46, quite a reality check. Had to reevaluate some things. I got divorced a couple years after that, so my personal needs were not met, so I decided to focus to make myself happy. Some turning points. My dad's advice on career and life, which got me back on track after the school advisor messed things up, but that was several years later. Teaching biology lab as a graduate student was a turning point. I realized my true calling was in teaching, not being a researcher. I'm a marine biologist by background. If you look behind me, those pictures you see are pictures I took underwater. Those are all from scuba diving. His doctoral program, which we're in, I need to finish that. There's some ghosts. Again, that's another story. Historic context. The fall of the Berlin Wall, I think, was a big deal for me because it opened the idea of interacting with other cultures. Pope Francis restored my faith in the Catholic Church. And honestly, this latest race and election for the president, the whole hate speech and anti-immigration attitude really had a big effect on me and really became more culturally aware. The nuances, I need salt water to reestablish my equilibrium. As weird as that sounds, it's really part of my identity. It is a necessary factor for my mental health. If I don't get back to salt water every so often, it really super stresses me out. This is my artwork. It's kind of a montage of pieces of things from my home. The table is glass. It's my glass kitchen table. I like nicer things, and I'm willing to pay money for them. Perhaps that's the fact of I grew up in a situation where I did not want for things, and so I will pay that extra money for the things that I think are special. The guitar represents my younger son's interest in music. I took up a guitar to play guitar with him. The fishing pole represents my older son's interest in the outdoors. He's going to be a wildlife biologist, and so he and I spend a lot of time fishing together. The centerpiece of a plate with the shells represents my marine interest, and that whole marine biology aspect is truly part of my identity. The crucifix there hanging from the guitar into the bowl represents my religious attachment. The stick that you see, which is actually a club, that's from the Mola, which are people from New Zealand, indigenous people of New Zealand. My parents brought that back to me 40 years ago. And then the sash is actually a belt that was woven by the Cherokee. It was given to me as a present when I did some work with the Cherokee. I did a student exchange project with the Cherokee when I was in Morehead City. And the club and the sash represent that cultural interest of mine and working with different cultures and looking at that diversity of mankind. Sorry I went over the time. Hope you enjoyed it.